Welcome back. So we started this podcast, 15 minutes ago, and then realized that we weren't recording. So,
thanks, James.
Yeah, that's my bad. The podcast jitters. Second episode. Welcome to the second episode of the Comic Boot. I'm James, and of course, this guy to my in front is...
I'm Kalen. Hello, everyone.
Kalen brought to my attention, after we got done recording our last episode, that some people may look at the name of this and wonder, why is it called the Comic Boot? And let's just make a long story short. I was a member of a comic collectors community or whatever on Facebook, and you'll learn by listening to us that neither one of us will sit on our laurels and just let people bash other things, whether it be the race of someone. And someone made a comment on the page about Amadeus Cho being the Hulk. And it became very racial in tone. And I decided that it was my due diligence to stand up to this person because, yeah, I'm an asshole and I just do things like that. And
but are you an asshole if you're calling somebody out for being racist?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm better off for not being in that community, I can tell you that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And this will give us a time to plug our community on Facebook. That's my dog.
Hi, Quinn.
Yeah, her name's Quinn. Yeah, I'm a DC fan. Sorry. Anyway, we have a Facebook group, and everyone is more than welcome to like it, and we're trying to put out content as often as we can. The Comic Collectors Community on Facebook, so look us up. Anyway, I took offense to this. I stood up. Well, I didn't stand up. I typed, and apparently I really made this guy mad, and I didn't realize that he was an admin. And this admin for this page took special offense when I accused him of being racially insensitive. And I was quickly ushered off the page by getting the boot. And because I was there, I invited Kalen and our buddy Cody, who will be joining us on a permanent basis, just with the holidays and everything. He can't be with us this week. But, and I think he's still there. On the page, but you'll learn also that Cody doesn't, type a lot because we always text him and he never texts us back. So I just think he has like thumb issues or something. I don't know. Maybe he just has like 5 fingers and no thumbs that he can't text us back.
Now you're just being insensitive to people without thumbs.
Without thumbs, yeah. I'm a thumbist. Anyway,
no.
So anyway, Kalen was there, and of course I was already booted off the page, and I was like, I just got kicked off the page. So this is what happened to Kalen.
And 2 weeks later, they posted a picture of Milo Manara and Frank Cho at a convention. Milo Manara gave Frank Cho a very inappropriate picture that's like the reverse side of his very controversial Spider-Woman cover that caused Marvel to revamp the franchise.
The one where she's crouching, going down a wall with her heart-shaped butt with, like, it looks like she just has red skin, no suit on or anything.
Yeah.
It's like full-on wedge.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. That one.
And, well, the reverse side of it is the suit remains skin-tight around her female genitals. And, of course, people are like, oh my god, that's so awesome. But I chimed in and said, art like this would only be permissible if they paid artists to draw Wolverine in assless chaps. Because I was just being a smartass. But, of course, it snowballed, and then it turned into how genders are being treated. And, of course, they said I was wrong, and I was a feminazi, and then they started making personal attacks outside of the feminazi thing. And basically, it turns out that the person I was arguing with was also an admin, and I got the boot not long after that.
The boot. And then, of course, because I am an asshole, I snuck back in the page.
To do basically the exact same thing.
Yeah, but this time it was not really malicious. Like,
it was more purposeful. Like,
yeah.
you had an agenda going into it.
I did, and of course the owner of the page, who has a terrible reputation, as I found out through Reddit posts and all that stuff after looking this person up and getting really vindictive. Of course, nothing came of it, but he recognized me and my name and immediately booted me. So I've gotten the boot twice.
Yes.
So that's why we have the comic boot, because, like we said in the first episode, we're here to do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
And we want people to feel safe. And that's why we created the Facebook group, of course.
Yeah, because we thought, well, this is bullshit. How about we just do our own thing where people won't feel viciously attacked every time they have an opinion? Not only that we can make sure that people post content that is digestible for everybody. It isn't just, hey, look, these are tits.
Yeah, because, I mean, comics can get out of hand. We've all seen Red Sonja and Witchblade and, those things that are all
stuff where they're just
spank material for 12-year-old boys.
Yeah.
That's weird that I said that out loud. But
a little bit.
Yeah.
It was a little specific, too, James. You got a little backstory?
Kathy Ireland, man. Poster above my bed, bro. Still.
Anyway.
Wife thinks it's really weird, but it's been with me forever.
Oh, good lord. How are you married?
I don't know.
Okay, getting back on track.
Suicide Squad.
Yes. First episode, we talked about Suicide Squad. And now James has a little bit of information of what happened in the conception of this film.
Yeah, so apparently whenever they were in the production phase of this, of Suicide Squad, there were 3 editing companies that took part in this. I mean, that doesn't forgive all the mistakes with storyline
No, not by any means.
or writing or anything along those lines, but that's why we have Jeff Johns now. But there were 3 editing companies, and what they did is they cut the movie into thirds. I mean, first, second, and third act, which is a common thing that they do with movies. But the first act, which is the beginning of the movie, was edited by the same people that did like the Bohemian Rhapsody preview that everyone lost their shit over because it was amazing.
Yeah.
But that was the entire first act, the introduction of the characters and things like that. And it rated out really well with focus groups and things like that. And then the second act was a separate company, and the third act was a completely different company from the previous 2. And so that's why I think that we have so many issues with the movie itself as a theatrical release.
Because it's very disconnected.
It is. It feels like 3 different stories.
And you can tell that it's something different.
Yeah. Because we have all the neon at the beginning where they're introducing everybody.
Yeah.
And all the flashes and the
really,
flash pieces.
The flash pieces, and it looks really twisted and kind of fun. And you're like, all right, I can kind of get into this.
The Harley flashbacks where she hits her head or she gets shocked and she's flashing back to stuff.
Yeah.
All that stuff was awesome. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. And I think that most people would say that the first act of that movie is probably by far their favorite.
Yeah.
And if you feel differently, let us know, because I would love to talk to someone who thinks that like the third act is the best.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is just a discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would love to get your input on that, anyone's input on that, of why they think...
Or if you think the whole thing's just crap, please give us your thoughts on that.
There are a lot of people like that out there. But if you're going to do that, at least, have...
be respectful and, really just, have your points.
Yeah.
Just like, it's
cutting
DC,
and pasting.
it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that was a big issue. I mean, obviously, some of the things that we can take away from Suicide Squad that might be possibly game-changing would be soundtrack. The soundtrack
was nominated for a Grammy, wasn't it?
I think it was. And there was another one, whether it was production or something along those lines, that was up for a Oscar nomination.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. But I know that it was in the running for an Oscar nomination, which might have just blown everyone's minds right now that it is up for an Oscar nom.
But probably the best thing to come out of that movie was Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the best things.
I mean, obviously, she's getting Gotham City Sirens.
Yes, which is confirmed. This is great. Our dreams are coming true, because you're getting Deathstroke in Batman.
Yeah, which, I mean, if Kalen knows, and I said it before we came back and had to re-record all this, I run a Facebook Deathstroke. I'm an admin on a Facebook Deathstroke group. And we have like 1,300 people now or something like
That's not
that.
bad.
So, I mean, there's a little chunk of people. There's a lot of Deathstroke fans out there. So, yeah, I'm... And Joe Manganiello. I mean, come on.
That's
my guy.
So perfect. And now I'm getting a Gotham City Sirens movie.
You're getting a Sirens movie.
Whoever was listening to us, thank you. But whoever ignored us about Carrie Fisher, fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much. Sore subject.
It is.
Yeah.
May the force be with you, dear Carrie.
So, we're sitting here, and the thing that I really want to ask, while we still have a little bit of time left, is... where do you think they go from here? I mean, obviously we have all the confirmed movies. We have Justice League, we have the Batman, we have Cyborg, Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern Corps, which they still haven't cast yet, even though Armie Hammer's name is all over the place with that thing.
Right.
He's hanging out with Joe Manganiello and
Jeff Johns.
I mean, we almost can confirm that, but we can't double confirm that at all.
No.
But where do you think it goes from here, man? I mean, do you think... I mean, we're going to get all the cookie... Not the cookie cutter, but we're going to get the Reverse Flashes. We're going to get the Rogues and Flash, from what I understand. But what does this open up? What does Sirens open up?
It opens up a different look into the DC universe. Because we always see stuff from the eyes of the heroes. It's very, very black and white, I think. You have your good guy, and you have your bad guy, and the good guy takes down the bad guy all the time. But then what happens when you have to root for the bad guys? The people, like the murderers and the thieves and all these other people, they're the ones that are... our lives are in their hands in this universe. Mm-hmm. It's kind of tricky because then you're like, okay, we'll have to root for them. And that's one thing that bothered me about Suicide Squad is that they weren't villains enough. They did something any hero could have done.
Right.
And I would have loved to see more of that gray area of, okay, but they're bad guys, but they're being helpful in a bad way. Yeah. In which kind of...
You wanted like you wanted the whole movie rewritten, basically. You wanted a wet work type mission and then a bad guy mission at the very end.
Well, I thought, just spitballing, I thought it would have been cool to see them do like a really shady thing for the government, because that's what Task Force X does. The government wants them to do something that's completely off the books, that is so bad that if they get caught, they have to blame it on villains.
Right.
I wanted to see that. And then maybe have Jared Leto come in, take Harley, but of course Harley has all this government information in her head about what they just did for the U.S. government. Mm-hmm. And if somebody, say Batman, ever hears of what she just did, then he can go out, then he has ammo to go after Amanda Waller.
Yeah. Which they're not friends in the comics. I mean, if you don't,
they're not.
If you don't read comics, they're not
even if you just watch the animated or the show,
yeah.
Justice League, he was still like butting heads with Waller. But
hence the credit scene where he's like, "Shut it down, or we're going to do it for you." Yeah.
So I think that would have been...
spoiler: Ben Affleck's Batman.
I think that would have been a much more palatable thing, or something more interesting for viewers. That isn't just... It was very much like a video game. Level 1 is complete. Please proceed to level 2. And it's just... And I think that might have been an issue with having all these different editing companies, because it was very choppy editing. It was not seamlessly...
Well, and I watched I watched the
bonus features.
The bonus features. And no, that was the story. Mm-hmm. That was always the story. The rescue of Waller was always the story, from what I could tell. That was David Ayer's vision, for this movie. And it's like... I respect David Ayer for what he does. Don't get me wrong, because I can't do it any better, and I don't know if anyone can do an action movie like that with practical effects any better than David Ayer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that will take issue with that, but, from what I can see, he's really good at what he does. But my thing is that was always the story. It's like I wanted to hand him, a stack of Suicide Squad comics and say, before you write anything, read these. And it's almost like he didn't understand where it came from or what it was meant to do.
And that's a huge problem with anybody. If you're doing a movie or a TV show, you have to get people who are knowledgeable about this content and are, more importantly, passionate about it.
Yeah.
To make a great movie. And that's why I'm excited. I think that's why them bringing in Jeff Johns is good, because he is insanely knowledgeable and insanely passionate.
And he's written...
For everybody.
Well, not to mention, but he's written Keys. I mean, he wrote Blackest Night, he wrote Flashpoint, he wrote all these things.
Everything that's happened is because of Jeff Johns.
And now he's back.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's back. Now he's back. Jeff Johns is back.
Where's the trigger? I'm sorry.
He tweeted out recently that he's going to start writing again, with a picture of Dr. Manhattan's eyes, which for Rebirth fans is sick. Anyway, that brings us to the end. Thank you for listening again, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow. We're going to talk about Civil War.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.